Hi, this is Dave, Fell Running Guide. Welcome to another navigation task. This is another route choice task. You've got to decide the best way of getting from A to B. I'm using the Harvey's Superwalker 1 to 25,000 map of the Peak District, and I'm using Anquet mapping software. Now I've just removed the B from Mermaid's Pool there, just so that we can see a little bit more clearly the features around that. There's lots of different options for this one. What we'll do to start with is break it into two. The first thing being, how are we going to get across Kinder itself? So how are we going to negotiate this area here? And then secondly, think about how we're going to navigate a little bit more precisely to Mermaid's Pool. So what are our different options? Now obviously there is a longer route and a shorter option. The short option being straight across the middle. The longer option may be taking the edge path all the way along and then heading back southeast along there. And people have commented that they do that in bad visibility because they're less likely to get lost. I would say on this that that's not necessarily the case. Unless you're absolutely hopeless with a compass and can't work out basic directions, then don't be frightened of going across ground where there aren't that many features. So for example, if you got to this point here and headed southwest for approximately a kilometre, not even that, you'd get to this point here where the ground ceases to be flat, and we've got a sudden big steep drop. So it wouldn't matter whether you hit the path there or hit the edge there or there. Somewhere along there, the ground, as you're heading southwestwards, you're going to hit the edge. And as long as you hit the edge and turn right, you'll know that you're going along there. You could maybe navigate to a point there where the paths split and where we've got this broken wall. So don't think, oh, I'm going to stick on the path all the way just because it's foggy. Yeah, following a rough bearing, you're going to come out somewhere and then you can relocate on known features. Another reason why people said they might want to go around is because they didn't want to get the feet wet and avoid the bog. Well, yeah, it is very boggy, but if you look on the path that goes along the top, we've got all these drainage lines, all these streams draining northwards. So even if you're walking along the path along there, you're going to get lots of stream crossings and not necessarily keep your feet dry. So that might not be a good idea. Let's have a look at some statistics then for taking the long way round. We follow that yellow line, and the mapping software tells us it's 4.1 kilometres, and notice the ascent as well, 147 metres. So whilst we're sticking to the edge path, there's lots of undulations. These are 15-metre contours, and there's quite a lot of little ups and downs, so accumulated ascent, it mounts up there. If we took a direct line, so something like that blue line, then we can see it's only 2.19 kilometres, so 2 kilometres shorter and only 45 metres of climb, so 100 metres less climb. Now admittedly, this green leg across 1.78 kilometres would be fairly hard going, but would that be worth doing at the expense of an extra 2 kilometres along? So something to bear in mind there. Now, what about doing something where we don't have to go all the way across the middle of Kinder? We can shorten the amount of distance we use crossing. So there are a couple of options. We could head westwards along the edge, and then note this big feature here where the path kinks southwards. We've got this drainage feature stream running off there. We could navigate maybe to one of these points here and then head straight across, so minimizing the amount of time that we spent crossing. So let's have a look at that. Maybe something like that. So this leg here, that's only 800 meters across, so minimizing the amount of time crossing. We could do something like that. Again, going on a rough southwesterly bearing, that dark blue line, doesn't matter where we came out on the edge, we'd know, we'd hit that edge, turn right, we might be able to see that stream feature there, that stream feature there, this bouldery ground here. If we carried on heading northwestwards, we might see this path junction here and then this broken wall line here. So we certainly have a few features there to relocate on. So we could use that. Or we could even extend that last option a little bit further, getting to this point here where there's an obvious deep stream heading due north, and then onto the next stream and follow that southwards, passing the trig, and then this ruined boundary feature here and another boundary feature here, and hitting these paths there. So that option would look something like that blue line there. So could do that going a little bit further along that northern edge before striking across Kinder. So that's another option. What about heading down this way? So a more southerly route choice, heading for this obvious stream, heading down and this path junction here, and then heading out southwestwards along here, maybe towards Kinder Gates, picking up this stream and then going more westerly in towards Kinder Downfall. We could have a look at that option. So that would look something like that. Again, navigationally pretty straightforward. You'd definitely be able to get to this point here and then heading roughly southwestwards. Even if you continued in that straight line, you'd hit these streams, follow them in, and if you hit this path that's running north-south, then you'd know you're at this point here. If you followed the streams in, they're all draining down into this big feature here from Kinder Downfall. So let those streams lead you in, and then you could follow the northern path above the downfall up into here. So that is an option there. So those are all options that we could take. What about once we got to somewhere on this path here, how are we then going to find Mermaid's Pool? Let's have a look at some options there. So we've identified that we've got a path split here and a wall or a ruined wall there. So imagine really bad visibility on a really thick foggy day. What you could do is follow that wall down, hit that point there where this other wall comes in, follow that and follow it to this point here where the wall bends away, and then go on a bearing probably not much more than 150 meters southeastwards in to there. Notice here how the contour lines go from being close together to widening out. So that break of slope is a good way of knowing, if you're following this wall down, knowing where the pool is. So that's an option there, a really bad weather option. You could just head slightly southwestwards, just skirting this bouldery ground here, straight down, steeply down the contours, and then you'd hit the pond there. If you'd missed it slightly, then you'd notice the ground opening out, contours opening out, and you might see this wall boundary feature here with trees beyond it. So that'd be a good catching feature there. So that's one way of doing it. Another way would be if we were to continue this route here. Let's just continue that, see what would happen. We might follow this stream here, hit that down underneath these two crags there, aiming for this big spur sticking out there, and then due west is the pool. If we missed it, then we've got this black line, this boundary feature here, and we might also see this tree line here. So that's a good way of doing it. That's a more orienteering way of doing it. So let's just end that route there. So that's the map with all the different route options marked on it. No right way or wrong way. I certainly think that yellow long way of going around is probably not very efficient, and maybe minimising the amount of time that you spend going across the centre of Kinder, unless of course it's been very dry and you know that you're not going to get bogged down in stuff. But thinking about not being afraid of taking a direct bearing across the centre when we've got such a big feature to aim for here, this edge, don't be afraid of doing that. And then thinking about what features we've got to more micro navigators in. So we've got the break of slope, we've got this spur, we've got the change of direction of the wall, and we've got the catching feature of this wall, and also we've got these streams here which we shouldn't have to rely on. So those are some options. I hope you found it useful. You've probably got your own idea of what you'd like to do, but thanks for watching, and look out for more of these navigation challenges. Bye for now.